Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I was just putting some grains of salt on this coffee filter. These are called grains of salt. Okay, that's one. Here, I'll show you one grain. There's a grain of salt. Okay, so I was just counting, how many grains of salt I could put on this coffee filter before it collapses. How many do you think? How many grains of salt would I need to put on here before the coffee filter just just collapses? Oh, I just collapsed it with my hand. What do you think? How many grains of salt? Well, we have an idiom for this idea in English. Okay, the idiom is the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay, have you heard that before? The straw that broke the camel's back. Now, I shared a joke on Instagram, I don't know, about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and a few people didn't get the joke because they didn't know the idiom. Okay, it's hard. I mean, if how are you supposed to get the joke if you don't know the idiom? So it's okay if you didn't get the joke. Sometimes English jokes are sort of based on idioms, and if you don't know the idiom, you have no chance to get the joke, right? So it's okay. It's okay to not know something. So that idiom, you need to know that idiom to get that joke. Okay, so you know what a camel is, right? A camel is an animal with a hump or two humps. I can't remember which is a drama. One is called a dromedary, and the other one is called a Bactrian, I think. I'm gonna take a guess. I learned that way back when I was probably like in grade, I don't know, grade 3 or grade 5 or something like that. I think a Bactrian. I don't even know if these names are right. Okay, so I'm just making this up. I think a Bactrian camel has two humps. I think they live in they might live in like Tibet or like maybe parts of Africa. I'm not sure. And I think as the single humped camels are called dromedary. I could be wrong. I shouldn't be talking about stuff I don't know. If you're a camel expert, let me know down in the comments. But I'm just gonna go for it and say that a Bactrian has two humps and a dromedary has one hump. Now, what about straw? What about the word straw? Do you know what that means? Okay, well the word straw can have at least two, maybe more meanings. Okay, one meaning is this. Okay, look at this coconut. I'm drinking this coconut, and this is the straw. This straw is made of wood. Have you ever seen a wooden straw? Isn't that cool? Most straws are made of plastic. Okay, so that's called a straw. But straw also has a different meaning. So in this idiom, the straw that broke the camel's back, it doesn't mean this kind of straw. Okay, but in that joke I posted on Instagram, it was this kind of straw. Okay, so that's why that's the pun. Okay, so this is one straw, but the other kind of straw is like the stuff is like hay. It's like what animals sleep in, right? If you imagine an animal's bed, right? Their animal's bed would be made out of straw. Okay, so that's what straw is. So if you think about one straw, okay, how heavy is one straw? It's very light. It's like a blade of grass, right? Just like a dry piece of grass. That's basically what one straw is. So when we talk about the straw that broke the camel's back, we're talking about something very light. Okay, like look at this. Okay, right? A grain of salt is very light, right? If I put it on here, nothing is going to happen, right? Nothing happened, right? Just like if you put one straw on a camel's back, I think in the olden days they would transport big bundles of straw on camels' backs. I think that's probably where the idiom comes from. Most native English speakers don't know where idioms come from. They understand it. So it's important for you to understand it. You don't need to know the history. Okay, just like for me, I don't know the history, but I know that the straw is not this kind of straw. Okay, some native English speakers might think. I actually don't know if it's this kind of straw. But I'm just using my brain and thinking probably it's not this kind of straw, because what does this kind of straw have to do with a camel? I mean, maybe I don't understand something about history. Okay, maybe people used to transport straws by camels, and maybe somehow that. But I'm 100% sure it's not this kind of straw. It's the other kind of straw. Okay, so that straw broke the camel's back. Now, why? Why would one straw? Well, it's not one straw, right? It's the cumulative, just the whatever. It's all the straws, right? Just like if I put 1,000,000 grains of salt on here, right? It's going to be one of the grains that's going to make it collapse, right? If I just put one, nothing's going to happen. But if I put 1,000,000 and then one, that one is going to make it collapse, okay? So this is an idiom in English that you can use it in a lot of different situations. For example, let's say you have a job, right? And you just don't like your job. There's always stuff that's happening, that just you don't like, right? And it's just building up. The pressure is building up. And one day you go into work and someone just says one thing. Your boss just says one thing you don't like, or something else happens. Maybe the coffee maker doesn't work. And just, that's it. That's the last straw. Okay, then you can say, that's the last straw. And then you're out. I'm out of here. That's it. I quit. I'm out of here. Right? It was just one small thing that made you quit. But really, it wasn't that one thing. It was just that it was all the pressure of all the other small straws, right? And then it just took one straw to break the camel's back. Okay, so the idiom is to break the camel's back, right? The straw that broke the camel's back. But more often when we use this idea in English, we say that's the last straw. Okay, that's the last. You could say, that's the last straw. You could tell your boss, I'm out of here. That's the last straw. I can't take it anymore. All these little things. That's it. I quit. That's the last straw. If you're in a relationship, if your boyfriend or your girlfriend is always doing stuff that you don't like, and it just builds up. It builds up. Maybe one small thing is just going to trigger it, and just going to say that's the last straw. That's the last straw. I can't take it anymore, right? It's like you just collapsed, right? The one straw broke the camel's back. So it broke your job, it broke your relationship. So this is always it's a negative thing. Okay, if a straw breaks the camel's back, well, it's always like a buildup of negative things, and then it just takes one small thing to break the camel's back. Okay, so that's where the idiom that's what it means. Okay, so you can use it, like I said, in a bunch of different situations. If you've got a lot of pressure in any situation, work, relationships, if a bunch of stuff is happening that's just bad, it might just take one thing. Okay, so then you can use that idiom. You can say that was the straw that I think I'm losing my voice. I better wrap up this video. Okay, so you could say that was the straw that broke my back. You're the camel, right? In the situation, in the idiom, you are the camel, right? So you can say that was the straw that broke my back, or that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Or you could, like I said, more commonly, we just say that's the last straw. Or that was the final straw. Hey, have you seen the movie Office Space? Office Space. That's one of my favorite movies. It's a comedy, and in that movie, there's a character named Milton. Okay, and the bosses are always treating Milton just like garbage. They're always moving his desk from one place to another place in like an office building, right? And one day he says, that's the last straw. And then he burns down the building. Right? He burns down the whole office building because that was the last straw, right? He couldn't take it anymore, right? They were always treating him badly, and it was just took one thing, and then that was it. You know, he burned the whole place down. So that's a good movie. It's a comedy. Hopefully you're not in a situation where you have to say that's the last straw, or that's the straw that broke the camel's back. But you know, if you're talking about anything in English, if you're talking about, you can, like I said, you can use this in any field, if any, like probably politics or sports or anything. Anytime there's like buildup. I mean, maybe you support one politician, right, or one political party, but the leader of that party is always doing something that you don't like, right? You can just say, okay, maybe he does one thing. That's the last straw. That's it. I'm leaving this party. I'm not gonna support him. I'm not gonna support this political party, right? Or if you're into sports, you could say, like let's say you play sports, right? And you're on a team, and your teammates are always gossiping about you or something like that. Then they might just say one thing one day, and that one thing just triggers you. Okay, it's another word. It's like to trigger something. It's like a gun, right? You pull the trigger, just that little thing just sets you off, right? You can't take it anymore, right? So maybe one thing triggers your reaction, and then you can say, that's the last straw. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. Hopefully you can use that idiom in your real life, as you go about your daily life in English, wherever you are. Maybe you can even use it today, but I hope your day is not, hope you don't have too much pressure, and hope a little straw doesn't break your back today. And if you're lucky enough to drink a coconut like me, well, then enjoy your coconut, guys. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for tuning in, for always smashing like and subscribing. I really appreciate it, guys. So, with that being said, maybe I'll make another idiom video tomorrow. Or maybe phrasal verbs. People always say, hey Mark, make more videos about idioms and phrasal verbs. I actually like making these kind of videos because they're really helpful. Like if you're trying to learn English and you hear an idiom or like a phrasal verb, you might not even have, just what on earth is that? Like with this one, the straw that broke the camel's back. You might think, what does a camel have to do with this situation? What does a camel have to do with my work or with, anything? It doesn't make any sense, right? That's why idioms, that's why you have to be taught and someone has to explain to you, what an idiom is and how you can use that idiom, in your real life. Hey, actually I've written a couple books on phrasal verbs and idioms. So if you want to learn more, a lot, my books are called 101, intermediate or advanced or beginner idioms and phrasal verbs. So if you want to learn more about those, you can go on my website and check out a lot with examples. Each one has like the idiom, and then I give a few examples and give some like tips on how to use it. So anyway, if you're wanting to do that, check out my books. But I think I'm in the mood to make more idioms and phrasal verbs videos very soon. So if you like that idea, smash like, stick around, leave a comment as usual. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.